Hi, hello. In this video, I am going to write a program to swap the values of two variables without using third variable. Generally, the values of two variables can be swapped using a third variable in this way. Let's take three variables first, comma, second, comma, third. Let's initialize first with a value 45. Let's initialize second with the value 64. Now I want to swap the values of first and second, that is I want to push 45 into second and push 64 into first. For that, what I do generally is I first push the value of A into third. Then push the value of second into first. And now bring the value of third into second. What happens after the first statement? Here the value 45 that is there in the first variable will be pushed into third. That is, after this statement, the value in the third variable will be 45. Now here in the second statement, the value of second, that is 64, will be pushed into first. That is, 64 will be pushed into the variable first, and after this statement the value in the first will be 64. Now after third statement, the value now in the variable third will be pushed into second. What is the value now in the third variable? That is 45. After this statement, the value in the third variable is 45. Now that 45 will be pushed into variable second. Now what is the value that the first variable is holding now? 64. And what is the value that second variable is holding now? It is 45. Now if you print these values, you must see the values printed after swapping. I forgot to end the statement and I forgot to use the return statement. Yeah, now let's build that and execute that. See now the value in first is 64 and value in second is 45. This is how generally the values in two variables are swapped. Here I used a third variable to swap the values, but how to swap the values without using a third variable? That is what we are going to see now. Let's delete all this. Now let's write a statement printf initially the values in first is %d value in second is %d comma first comma second. Now let's write two simple statements, not two, three simple statements that will swap the values of first and second without pushing their values into any third variable. Now let's write this statement first. Let us put the total of first and second in the first variable. Let's push the value of first plus second into this first variable. After this statement, what first will hold is the value 64 plus 45, that is 109, will be pushed into variable first. Now let us push the difference of first and second into second now. That is, first is holding 109 and second is holding 64. If we push 109 minus 64, that is 45 into second, to write that second is equal to first. First is holding now 109 minus the value of second is 64 now. First minus second. Here the value 109 that is there at present in the first variable minus 64 that is the value that is there in the second variable will be pushed into variable second. Now let us push the difference between first and second into first again. That is, at present first is holding 109 and second is holding a value 45. Now if we write first minus second, what will happen is the value 109 that is there in the first variable minus 45 that is there in the second variable will be pushed into variable first. Now after this statement, let us just print whatever the values that are there in the first and second, and we'll see whether they are swapped or not. After swapping the value in first is %d, value in second is %d, first, second. Let's put two new line characters at the beginning and end of the statement. Let's remove this duplicate statement. Now let's build and see. See, initially the value in the first is 45, value in the second is 64. Now after swapping, the value in the first is 64 and value in second is 45. See, without using the third variable, we could swap the values of two variables. Now let's enhance this program little more by taking the values from the user and then swap them. Now first, let us send a message to you, enter a value for the variable first. Let's use printf to send the message. Enter the value for first. Now let's flash the std in. Now let's use scanf to accept value from user and address it to variable first. Now let us push a message to the user to enter the value for second. Printf \, a new line character, enter the value for second. Let us flash the std in again. and let's use scanf to accept second value from the user. And address it to the variable second. Now let's build and execute this program and see what will happen. If there is an error, let's now build it. It's asking to enter the value for first variable. Let's give some 65. Now it's asking to enter a value for second. Let's give some value 32. Now see, initially the value in the first is 65, value in second is 32. After swapping the value in first, it is 32, value in first is 32 and value in second is 65. This is how we have to swap the values of two variables without using a third variable. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to this channel to stay updated with this kind of programs.